Good morning, everyone. This title of this video is going to be Love Your Plan. And I think, this is important to me and to everyone else, man, because you have a plan, right? To achieve, and, sometimes you wonder, what's going to happen. You lose something that's out of your control, like a job opportunity or, someone in close mind that can help you move on with your life. You're recovering drug addict. I mean, all those things, and then you planning on to recovering. Like, say you're going to the Alcoholic Anonymous type of meetings, man, and you start figuring out. You're networking with other people that went through the same things as you did, but they have a mindset and the motivation to move forward, and they say, okay, I'm gonna just put this drug down, I'm gonna put this alcohol down, and I'm gonna look at different things in life to better myself, because no one's not gonna do it for me. I have to do it for myself. Now, you can be influenced to the people that you with, but at the same time, it's all that ounce of motivation. I believe the stress of life can encourage an individual to move forward, right? So, you lose a job, and you're just thinking, like, say you're a Christian, you believe in Christ, you're like, okay, why is God, you know allowing me to lose my job? And he know the things that I'm going through. I know I'm suffering financially. I need this. I'm living paycheck to paycheck. Nothing's going on. I need help. Where is he? I go to church all the time. I do communion. I'm very involved in the church, and I teach Sunday school. I go to Bible study. Things are still not going my way. When I was listening to it and I was doing my daily devotions, I'm gonna do it after this video. But yesterday morning, he was just saying that Isaiah 33:6, when Isaiah was the prophet, right, of Israel, and he was just talking about the destruction and how to love the Lord during distress and times, that he loves you unconditionally. In Isaiah 33:6, he says, for restoring the foundation of times, for rich and store your salvation of wisdom and knowledge, right? But the fear of the Lord is the key to his treasure. So the fear of the Lord, if we go back in the beginning, the fear of the Lord represents you shun evil. Okay, you do things, you hate things that are evil, especially to the eyes of the Lord. Shedding innocent blood, a lying tongue, right? Manipulating people, practicing magic arts, divination, all those things, man. Not loving your neighbor. And a person who's in that situation that lost his job and stuff, and it really needs it financially, he's hurting, and he feels like a prideful thing that's happening, that's calling down on him. I can't provide for your family, or you're underemployed. You seem like you have no type of work skills in this world, and you're not. What's the point of you living? You start having all these things bottled up into your mind state, but because of God's grace, we are saved. And I want to say this: in that situation, you write out, things that you can do. Okay, instead of just pondering on it day in day, because the negative thoughts that you have is not going to transform to the positive outcome of your situation. You can write out a list, like, okay, number one, I'm gonna wake up and at least read 7 minutes, study 7 minutes of the Bible, read my word, do my daily devotions. Number two, I'm going here, I'm gonna make some phone calls, at least do 10 phone calls a day, at least 10. You want to do more? I encourage you to do more. Do 10 phone calls a day. All right. I've just look up some jobs that's well within my skill, if I have any skills, or a high school diploma, or one of those areas. Just go out there and just update my resume. That's the number three thing. Number four, you go ahead and you, of course, try to conduct some interviews, make yourself out there, find out what your talents are, and work on that steadily, and complete this process over and over again until you at least get some leads. Because what I notice is that of course, you're working hard, and people's like, okay, what's the point of doing that? You just no guarantee that a company is going to call you, but you never know. I mean, it's a better thing, because in our minds, we're not here just to be isolated. Isolation is dangerous. Of course, that's according to 4-day laws of power, but isolation is very dangerous, man. Evil thoughts can come in, and then, you just start feeling it's down for yourself, and that's when depression seeks in. And to eliminate depression is through action, okay? This, regardless of what situation you're in, because depression is a negative expectancy of the future. The individual don't like your job, you hate your job, or it applies to someone who's in a dead-end job. Well, you have to invest in yourself, okay? To get that motivation is that, find out, like, do you love art, do you love entertainment, or are you trying to, go back to school, invest in yourself, learn a trade, learn some type of skill. Like, it can be anything, man. It can be how to do wooden floors, it can be roofing, landscaping, how to cut grass. You can do little things on the side while you working that dead-end job. So therefore, they'll give you the motivation in that particular time while you still working that job. You want to check out your anger on your customers or your boss, and that can create a huge turmoil and a bunch of trouble. So I say to say this: the purpose of this is to move forward, have motivation, and always be consistent, be productive regardless of what you go through, because it's always man-made problems is always a solution. Any man-made problems is always a solution. And most importantly too, if you make over, like, let's say every 2 weeks you get paid, you make $600 every 2 weeks, $1,200 a month. Save at least 10% of that, $60. Just put it to the side. $60. Just put it to the side. Put it under your mattress. Put it under the savings account, and live below your means. Cut down Netflix, Hulu. See if you can get a different your car insurance rate, or if you have one. You can do little things, man. Track your spending. Are you going to the movies too much, or are you, you know, you going above and beyond buying groceries? I mean, sometimes you have to, buy dollar DVDs. Or are you going out to eat too much? So I mean, some of these things that we in our situation we can limit in our control. Now, I'm not saying everybody can be a millionaire, but at the same time, if you're not happy with your situation, have a plan. You gotta have a plan and just move forward. And don't worry about if the plan is going to succeed or not, long as that you're productive every single day. And so those lists, just being honest with yourself, listening. And of course, it's gonna be other people. This is the hard part. It's gonna be people around you that probably know your situation. Especially if you told them on social media. But some way people still find out what you go through, and it can be kind of discouraging or embarrassing. You may not have to be able to go to those type of parties and stuff like that because you don't have the money or the funds, or you do at that particular time. But people always bring up their accolades and their occupations, and you're the one that's unemployed, so you feel like, oh well, I shouldn't be invited into this conversation. So yeah, I know it does something to the confidence of a man, especially a man, woman, but especially a man, because we are naturally here to provide. But and say this: stick with the plan. Stick with a plan. Planning is good, and it might take 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. It's like planting your seed. If you want to be a doctor, yes, it's going to take maybe 10 years, maybe 8 years. It's going to take a long time, but if you progressively, just getting your math skills up, you roll into a school, getting mentors, studying for the MCAT. I mean, even though you had to take the MCAT 3 or 4 times, you will get there. But you have to have that end goal in mind and just stop having age excuse. When I was reading The Magic of Thinking Big, one of my favorite books ever. I mean, if you check my older videos, I did a review on that by Dr. David Schwartz. He said that age excuse is the #1 reason why people don't succeed what they want. They may say, I'm too old. I'm 60 something years old. Why should I go back and go to school to learn engineering? Man, you 60 years old, you got at least 30 more years. Let's just say estimate 30 more years to enjoy the fruits of your labor. It might take you maybe 6-7 years to achieve it, and you'll be 67 if you start now. Oh, I'm too young to have this management position. What do you mean you too young? Because you, what, 19, 20 years old, you think you can't lead people that's older than you? So, I mean, we kind of undermine ourselves. And I want to say this, man. You hate your job. You don't like your job. Dead-end jobs. Listen, invest in yourself. That's the best solution. I've been there, done that. Invest in yourself. Take a risk. Yes, people are not going to understand it, but you have to. That's when you have to plant that seed in that mind state. And for those that believe in Christ, I said that previous example. Write out the list. Write out the goals. Write out #1. Read, meditate in the Word. #2, for at least 7 minutes a day. #2, write what type of jobs that I want. Go out there and apply for them. Update my resume. If I don't know how to update my resume, look stuff up online. Find different ways to create an income. Yes, it's going to be hard. It's going to be uncomfortable at times because you want these things now, and then you see other people already achieving. You think they do because people post their highlights on social media. Listen, you have to eliminate that. You have to focus on your path. If you want to help others, you got to help yourself first. It's just like you're on an airplane. Put your mask on before you help anybody else. So that's all I want to say is that, just, it's not even all about money. It's just all about, progressing, because it's going to be things that's not going to come our way. And that's the things that I learned so far this year, man. Moving forward, I'm going to probably make a video about my MEPS experience, but just, I mean, regardless if you fail so many times, man, just keep going. That doesn't mean you shouldn't try, but always enjoy your plan. Have a plan in sight. If something that you hate is not going right in your life, man. So, as human beings, we're always here to progress every single day. This even meditation. If you're depressed, reading a book, learning something. Because what I notice is that when you learn something new, and you try to learn something new, even though you fail, you learn how to do Sudoku or anything that's just good for the mind, that's can put your mind in a stressful situation. It's good, man. All your worries kind of runs away. It goes away a little bit, man. So that's just one of the greatest things. You got some people eat and have a little diet, man. Just eat excessively to hinder their problems, or to hope for their problems to go away. Not noticing that's how obesity rises, and depression even hits even better. And two, you have a high blood pressure, so then that's something else. You have to go to the ER and get a medical exam, and that's something else that you have to deal with, man. Or you just go into a desperate mode. You start asking people for money, and you can kind of burn relationships with that. So man, it's just kind of just like being independent a little bit. And it's nothing wrong seeking help, but don't just always run to that as the solution, that somebody's obligated to do something for you. But that's all I gotta say, man. It's your boy Yalin Jr. That's just like my advice here. If you hate your job, dad and job, listen, have a plan. You gotta have a plan and just stick it through it, man, regardless if anybody likes it or not, man. Same thing with Moses, man. People didn't like what he was doing, but God told him the plan to, go back. Go back. Go back and save your people. Go back and take them from Egypt, part the Red Sea. I got a new promised land for the Israelites to prosper. Okay, you got to go in and do that. So that's all I gotta say, man. Just take a risk, man. As Young Black Man continues to like, comment, subscribe, man. I love y'all. I'm out. Deuces.